Something happened. Maybe you lost. Maybe you made a mistake you wish you could take back. Maybe you tried something you genuinely believed would work, and it failed. And ever since then, something about you has changed. You hesitate more. You question yourself more. Before making a decision, you remember what happened last time. Before taking another risk, a voice inside you says, "What if I fail again?" Maybe you started a business and it didn't work. Now you're afraid to start another one. Maybe you failed an exam, and somewhere inside you, you started questioning whether you're actually intelligent enough. Maybe you applied for the job. You were rejected, and suddenly one company's decision started changing how you saw your own value. Maybe you trusted someone, and they disappointed you. Now you're afraid to trust anyone, or maybe you simply made a terrible decision, and even though everyone else has moved on, you haven't forgiven yourself. Listen carefully. The setback may have happened once, but you've been replaying it 1,000 times. And every time you replay it, you're allowing one moment from your past to cast another vote against your future. That's the real problem. You're no longer treating what happened as an event. You're beginning to treat it as evidence of who you are. You didn't just say, "I failed." You started saying, "I'm a failure." You didn't just say, "I made a bad decision." You started thinking, "I can't trust myself." You didn't just lose. You allowed the loss to change what you believe you're capable of. And that is where one setback becomes dangerous. Because a setback is an event. Don't turn it into your identity. Here's what you need to understand. Failure carries information, but human beings don't always interpret that information correctly. Something doesn't work, and instead of asking, "What went wrong?" we ask, "What's wrong with me?" Those are completely different questions. One investigates the event, the other attacks your identity, and once your identity becomes involved, fear enters the picture. Now you're not simply afraid of failing again. You're afraid that another failure will confirm what you've started believing about yourself. So you become cautious. You stop taking chances. You stop speaking up. You stop applying. You stop creating. You stop trying things where success isn't guaranteed. And here's the irony. You think you're protecting yourself from another failure, but you're also protecting yourself from another success, because both require you to step back into uncertainty. Think about how dangerous that becomes over time. A student fails one examination and begins avoiding difficult subjects. An entrepreneur loses money and becomes terrified of making another business decision. A creator publishes something nobody watches and stops creating. An employee gets rejected for a promotion and stops pursuing bigger opportunities. One event creates a belief. That belief changes behavior, and that behavior starts changing the future. This is why your interpretation of failure matters. There's a major difference between "this didn't work" and "I can't do this." The first statement leaves room for learning. The second closes the door. And this idea isn't new. Stoic philosophy repeatedly distinguished between what happens to us and the judgments we make about what happens to us. You cannot always control the outcome, but you can examine the meaning you attach to that outcome. And modern psychology gives us another useful concept: self-efficacy. Your belief in your ability to organize and perform the actions necessary to deal with situations. Your confidence isn't just some motivational feeling. It affects whether you attempt difficult things, how much effort you invest, and how long you persist when things become difficult. That's why repeated failure can become dangerous when interpreted badly. not because failure magically destroys your future, but because it can convince you to stop participating in your future. And that's the trap. You don't lose your future when you fail once. You put your future at risk when one failure convinces you that trying again is pointless. So how do you stop one setback from controlling what happens next? You need to change what you do with failure. Step 1. Separate the event from your identity. Start changing your language. Don't say, I'm a failure. Say, this attempt failed. Don't say, I'm terrible at business. Say, that business decision didn't work. Don't say, I'm stupid. Say, I didn't understand this well enough yet. This isn't pretending everything is fine. It's being accurate. You are bigger than one outcome. Describe what happened without turning it into who you are. Step 2. Extract the information. Once emotion settles, investigate the setback. Ask yourself, what exactly went wrong? What was under my control? What wasn't? What assumption did I make? What warning did I ignore? What did I do well? What would I change if I could repeat the situation? Failure becomes useful when it produces information. A mistake that teaches you something is different from a mistake you blindly repeat. Don't waste the pain. Extract the lesson. Step 3. Adjust. Now change something. Maybe your strategy was wrong. Change it. Maybe you weren't prepared. Prepare better. Maybe you moved too quickly. Slow down. Maybe you waited too long. Move earlier. Maybe you lack knowledge. Learn. Maybe you ignored good advice. Listen. Self-belief doesn't mean believing everything you do will work. Real self-belief sounds more like, if this doesn't work, I trust myself to learn, adapt, and try differently. That's stronger than blind confidence. Step 4. Move again. This is where confidence gets rebuilt, not by sitting in your room repeating, I believe it myself, but by giving yourself new evidence. Take another step, make another attempt, submit another application, create another video, study again, start again, try again with what you now know. Make the next action small if necessary, but move. Because every time you act despite the memory of failure, you're teaching yourself something. What happened to me did not finish me. And slowly, your confidence stops depending on whether you always win. It begins depending on something much stronger. Your ability to recover. Listen to me. You lost once. So what? You made a mistake. So what? You fell. You're human. The question isn't whether you'll ever fall again. You probably will. The question is, who will you become when you do? You cannot build a life where nothing goes wrong, but you can build a mind that knows what to do when something does. Stop demanding a perfect history before allowing yourself to believe in your future. You don't need one. Some chapters of your life will hurt. Some decisions will embarrass you. Some opportunities will disappear. Some people will reject you. Some plans will collapse right in front of you. But none of those moments automatically get to decide who you become next. That's your decision. Your setback has already taken whatever it took from you. Don't voluntarily give it your future too. Take the lesson. Leave the identity behind. You are not required to carry yesterday's failure into tomorrow's opportunity. And maybe your next attempt won't work either. Then learn again. Adjust again. Move again. Because the goal isn't to become someone who never falls. The goal is to become someone a fall cannot permanently stop. So get up, not pretending you weren't hurt, not pretending you didn't fail. Get up because you understand the failure better now. Take what it taught you, carry the wisdom, leave the shame, and move. One loss does not define you. One mistake does not define you. One setback does not define you. A setback is information, not your identity. And what determines your future isn't whether you fall. It's what you do after you fall.